So welcome again, final video on the Aoshima slash Beemax Brabham BT-52, and you would expect it to be a very good kit. Don't get me wrong, it is a very good kit, but it isn't quite as good as I was expecting. It is a kit around 50 euros, so it isn't cheap, and adding to that the detail set, it is another 30 euros, so we're talking about 80 euros, so you expect it to be excellent. Again, don't get me wrong, it is a very good kit, but with so much more flaws than I don't mean flaws, but I'll try to explain. First of all, the fit is very tight, even more than Tamiya. So when you realize you are trying to adjust everything so that the parts are in the correct place. Another thing, I don't know if I'm going to explain myself the best way, but I think it has a very complex engineering. And the worst part for me is this. You assemble an entire kit with a great detail, don't get me wrong again, it has great detail, and you get to the point when you assemble the whole kit and you have this little part here that goes into the airbox, I believe it is the airbox, and you can't glue it, because if you glue this part you won't be able to remove the cowling and you won't see any detail, because they've made the part, again, with zero tolerance. It's so tight that it needs to be assembled after you put the cowling. So what I did, I didn't glue it, I just added a little bit of white glue into the pins on the inside part, so that this cover stays in place without having to glue it. Because if I try to remove the cowling, I won't be able to, or I will break something. So this is how it goes. As you can see, I can remove this cover, so I'm able to take out the cowling. And you have another situation here. You have the two fuel caps here. And theoretically, before I added this fuel caps, I tested several times how the cowling was fitting in place, and it was okay, until I added these two fuel caps. So now, for me to remove the cowling, I have to bend it a little bit. See, and that's how I can remove it. If not, I'll just well, disassemble the fuel caps, break something, I don't know. And for me, this is the part where the kit is a little bit of a disappointment to me. Now, getting further into another flaw, as I've said, I bought the detail setup, the photo etch, for this kit, specifically designed for this kit, same brand, and some parts, I don't know, they seem they weren't made for this kit, because they don't fit anywhere. I mean, let's see if I can show you. This heat shield in here, I don't know if it is perceptible or not. Here, it doesn't go anywhere, and they don't show you where it goes. So I had to fiddle around and try and I don't know, lots of stuff until I could get a minimal fit, if I can call it that, because it didn't go anywhere. I have the turbo in here, and the turbo has a pipe that goes through here, the radiator, and I couldn't fit this heat shield because of that pipe. So don't ask me how much time did I spend trying to adjust to get it right. Speaking again of the tight fit, the engine is one of the things I had most trouble. I had to enlarge the gap in the lower part of the engine so it would sit on the chassis, because it wouldn't. It was wobbling because he wasn't going all the way down. So for me, those are the problems with the kit, and I'm going to say again, it is an excellent kit. Really like it, very detailed, decals, one of the best I've seen, really. I can't say hard enough how good they are, because they are the kind of decals that you put in water, take it out, and after 30 seconds they are ready to go, and they work excellently well with a microsole. They adapt, they don't break, they don't wrinkle, nothing. Especially if you watch in here this blue decal, it isn't very easy to maneuver around here because of these bumps for the front suspension, and it managed to get it there perfectly. So as you can see, decals, nothing to say about them, they are exceptionally good. So moving on to the detail, as I said, is fantastic. You can see here that it's not a simple kit, it's a very complex kit, but despite my disappointments that I've told you seconds ago, I'm really happy how the car looks in the end, because the parts are very good, they are very detailed. As I've said, decals are exceptional. And moving back a little bit, when I said something about complex engineering, this is the thing I'm referring to, the exhaust. Tamiya usually uses a system with two exhausts. Each part has two exhausts with which come together after it, and you get a whole part. In this case, every pipe is separate, and it's not a complete pipe. They are 8, if I can say 8, because you have the top part and the lower part. So if you don't get this exactly right, you will have a complete exhaust system that doesn't go perfectly in place, because after that you add the turbo, etc, etc, etc. So this is what I mean when I say very complex engineering. I don't know if they could make this a bit simpler or not, but it will give you some headaches. So that's the main thing I'm referring to when I speak about their engineering of the kit. What can I say more? Lots of dry fitting. You need to do that. If you go and build and assemble all at once, you'll probably have some trouble. Now, another thing, This is not a problem of the kit, of course, but that's something that confuses me a bit. And I'm speaking of some parts that I cannot understand how they make these tiny parts which you can't even handle them. And I'm speaking of, I don't know if you can see here, you have this little orange light. It's probably the rev limiter light, and I had to discard the part because it was so tiny and it didn't have any kind of fit in here. It was just glued, so I discarded it and used a bit of Umbral Clear Fix, if I'm not mistaken. It's Clear Fix, the glue for transparent parts, and added some bubbles of that Clear Fix here and then painted orange because I couldn't handle the part itself. It was so tiny, I couldn't handle it. So I decided to go for this method, and turned out pretty good, so I can't complain about it. Another thing, the tires are great, very good tires. I love the detail they have in here with the little grooves. I don't know, yeah, here they have grooves all around like they were in real life, so that's a fine touch which I like a lot. Well, I guess this covers it, and as you can see, it's a very good kit. It has its flaws. I would prefer it didn't have them, but it has. So here we go, bend again the cowling to fix it in place. I guess it is in place. No, not yet. As you can see, now it's good. As you can see, it's a really delicate part, this fitting of the cowling. Doesn't go as smoothly as you would expect. And then I'll attach again the airbox cover. There we go. As you can see, it stays in place, but it's not glued. It's something in between. So, and still you have some parts here we need some pressure so you can get it correctly in place. Not perfect, as I've said, and I'll say it again, not perfect, but as you can see, it's a fine kit, very good. If you're planning on building one of these, as I said, test, dry fit, everything, so you won't get some nasty surprises. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed it, the Brabham BT-52 from Aoshima Beemax, and I'll see you on the next one. Until then, take care and see you later.